A shocking data leak has once again shaken the global BTS fan community. This time, it is not an ordinary rumor, but rather an image fragment allegedly showing a flight ticket under the name Jungkook, pointing to Florida, the place where Jin's solo concert is reported to take place. This clue spread rapidly across various social media platforms, sparking waves of excitement and endless speculation. The question is simple, yet carries an explosion of emotions behind it. Is Jungkook secretly heading to Florida to attend Jin's concert? The leak began with an anonymous Twitter post displaying an airline boarding pass image to Florida, partially obscured but clear enough to arouse suspicion. The initials, flight time, and route shown were deemed highly related to Jin's schedule to perform in Florida as part of his military comeback activities. Army's reaction? Unstoppable. Thousands of responses and analyses emerged within less than an hour after the post went live. Many fans welcomed this information enthusiastically, hoping for an on-stage reunion between Jin and Jungkook. Yet, many others questioned the validity of the data. Is this merely a marketing trick? Is there truly a leak of information? Or is this the act of overzealous fans eager to create a viral narrative? One thing strengthening the speculation was Jungkook's appearance at the airport a few hours before the document leak. He was seen wearing casual yet covered-up clothes, donning a black mask and a hooded cap pulled down to almost fully hide his face. This style isn't new for Jungkook, but this time, his movements seemed far more cautious. Some witnesses stated that the staff accompanying him appeared more protective than usual. Is this an indication that he is indeed on a secret mission? While fans continued gathering evidence, an intriguing element emerged from Taehyung's reaction, also known as V. In a short live broadcast a few hours after the ticket leak, Taehyung uttered an ambiguous sentence that was believed to be related to the issue. "There are things you shouldn't see too soon." That statement was instantly tied to the speculation about Jungkook's departure and became a lengthy topic of discussion in various forums. Public reaction to the leak split in two. On one side, people believe this information should not have spread, considering that an artist of Jungkook's caliber deserves protected privacy. On the other side, curiosity and love for their idol made some fans feel entitled to know everything that happens. Thus, the question grew sharper. As fans and digital society, have we crossed the line just to be the first to know a piece of news? So far, there has been no confirmation regarding the validity of the document. However, the intensity of netizens' investigations kept escalating. Even several BTS-dedicated observer accounts on Twitter and TikTok began compiling timelines believed to be evidence of Jungkook's departure to Florida. They matched flight departure times, sightings of Jungkook at the airport, Jin's concert schedule, and digital traces from various platforms. Behind all of this lies an important reflection. If Jungkook truly attended Jin's concert in secret, why did it need to be hidden? Is this part of a surprise strategy for fans? Or are there personal reasons making him want to keep the trip private? Amid digital dominance and the shrinking space for privacy for major artists like Jungkook, it's only natural that speculation spreads faster than clarification. Furthermore, we must question the motives behind the document's circulation. Who leaked it? For what purpose? And how could such a document escape a system that is supposed to be highly secure? Is this part of a covert marketing plan? Or rather a failure in safeguarding internal data in a giant entertainment industry? This situation opens up deep discussions about digital ethics, public responsibility, and the fine line between fan concern and privacy violation. When viral news like this appears, it is crucial for the public not merely to be consumers of information but evaluators of the information itself. Should every leak be trusted? Are we nurturing a culture of excessive curiosity without considering the impact on individuals behind the camera's spotlight? In this context, we invite readers to ask themselves, do you truly believe Jungkook is on his way to Florida? Or is this merely a fabricated narrative designed to raise expectations? What if this is a hoax deliberately crafted to capture public attention and create a social media explosion? These questions are essential, not only to evaluate the news content, but also to reflect on our position as information consumers. Are we critical of what we read? Are we brave enough to question what seems so convincing on our phone screens? Or have we unconsciously become part of a system that spreads unverified information, The digital world moves incredibly fast. A single screenshot can alter a global narrative within seconds. And in such situations, only skepticism and sound reasoning can serve as our last line of defense. The information about Jungkook's trip to Florida is indeed tempting to believe, especially with visual support and near-perfect timing. However, as part of an intelligent society, let us protect ourselves from being swept away by currents that may not carry the truth. In conclusion, will Jungkook truly appear in Florida? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain. In a world where privacy, perception, and popularity collide, we all have the responsibility not to believe instantly, but instead to question more deeply. Yet, are we going to accept this information as absolute truth without first reviewing its credibility? Shouldn't every piece of data spread in the public sphere be tested first, through a lens of skepticism and scrutiny? Amid the torrent of information that often blurs reality and illusion, there arises an urgent need to re-examine every prematurely drawn conclusion. Could it be that the news about Jungkook's departure to Florida is a narrative construction deliberately packaged to trigger public emotional involvement? Why is a document that should be private and exclusive now in the hands of netizens? Is this a sign of negligence in data security, or rather a covert strategy to provoke mass psychological reactions? If that's true, then we are facing not only fake news issues, but also the phenomenon of information manipulation organized with extreme precision. Are we perhaps witnessing a diversion cloaked in the romance of artists and concert sensations? Is there a force working behind the scenes, using Jungkook's image as a lure to direct public attention toward certain matters? In such a situation, isn't it reasonable to question the real motive behind the document leak? It is truly dangerous if society continuously accepts such information without strict filtering processes. We must realize that critical logic and analytical frameworks cannot be abandoned simply because we feel emotionally attached to certain public figures. Therefore, it is fundamentally crucial to ask, do the clues presented genuinely indicate objective facts, or are they a series of fabrications carefully polished to appear authentic? Beyond mere curiosity, this phenomenon opens up vast space for reflection on how we, as a digital society, understand, absorb, and disseminate information. Are we merely part of the algorithm amplifying viral news, or are we capable of intervening in that flow with critical questions and vigilant attitudes? It should be noted that the circulating sources, whether video snippets from TikTok, YouTube comments, or Twitter posts, do not necessarily represent facts. In fact, such information is often manipulated to create specific emotional impacts. Therefore, it is imperative to ask, how far do we trust the validity of these sources? Are we fully aware that our involvement in spreading unverified information can worsen public understanding? Here lies the peak urgency of reflective thinking. We are not merely asked to consume news, but also to evaluate the hidden narratives behind it. Why did this issue emerge at such a strategic time? Is there a connection between Jin's concert momentum and the news of Jungkook's flight? Isn't it suspicious that such a leak coincides precisely with a surge in public attention toward BTS? We must dare to pose deeper questions. Who benefits from this situation? Is there a recognizable pattern in the rise of viral issues involving top-tier artists? If we are merely passive spectators of such events, then we have essentially surrendered our reasoning to a media flow that isn't entirely objective. The information presented in this article is compiled from various popular media sources, such as TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and international fan forums. However, we emphasize that all of this information cannot yet be confirmed as true. Therefore, readers are urged not to draw conclusions immediately without a thorough and comprehensive consideration process. Now, the question arises again. Did Jungkook truly fly to Florida, or is this merely a public spectacle carefully packaged to create an illusion of uproar? Are we willing to be part of a society so easily swayed by visual narratives and texts that may not be accurate? Or will we choose to become critical, aware digital citizens who are not easily manipulated by mere popularity algorithms? We no longer live in an era where information is monopolized by a handful of people. Every individual now has unlimited access to data, but ironically, not everyone has the ability to filter and comprehend that data correctly. This is the greatest challenge of the digital era, not in the availability of information, but in the skill to interpret and handle it proportionally. Closing. We invite readers to reflect more deeply. It's not merely about whether Jungkook is in Florida or not, but about how we respond to unverified information. Let us foster a healthy and resilient culture of skepticism. For only by thinking critically and reflectively can we distinguish between truth and fabrication, between reality and sensation, between information and manipulation.